As we've said many times, you get less rest to recover before the next round, and it is very critical.
Feindrich really confident, and we got that feeling, Patrick, on the interview there. She wants to take this another win, like she did in Davos.
Frida Karlsson, just 23 years old, and it's going to be interesting to see how she paces this. Feindrich, a devastating qualification run. You don't write her off, but the only question mark I've got is, did she expend too much energy in qualification? I don't think we'll find out in the first round. I think really we'll find out possibly in the semis, and definitely in the final should she get that far. There she is wearing 1. Karlsson wearing 5 for Sweden. Hennig of Germany there wearing 3. Leah Fischer of Switzerland 4. Lillenpera of Finland is 5. And then in lane number 6 we've got Lina Canton of France as well.
It's going to be very important, Patrick, to try and place yourself in the top 3 on the very first descent, because a lot of time can be lost on the left-hander, then the fast and icy right-hander. So I think we'll see some very fast starts here, and Feindrich just clearly wanting to control the pace and control her own safety.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I think in her interview she was a little bit concerned about the downhill stages, and saying that downhill here in Mustair is so much harder than it is in Davos, where really Davos it's all about one big 180-degree turn, and there's plenty of space, whereas here we have a left followed by a sharp right, then the bumps and dips followed by a 180-degree turn at the bottom.
It's testing. There's the brakes on. Some athletes coming out tighter on the inside, and I think as the day progresses there'll be a few tangles there.
Yeah, they've done quite a lot of work on the course in between the rounds, to be honest. Swept away a lot of the softer snow.
Good indication here whose skis are gliding well. For me, Frida Karlsson, she's just moved from second up into first. Those skis are gliding very well.
Yeah, that's worth noting, that if you get trapped on the inside on that final turn, you don't carry as much speed coming out. And Feindrich, who is the local girl, should know a little bit better than that. Hennig at the back of the group at the moment. Just a reminder, Feindrich and Karlsson, the 2 favourites, wearing 1 and 5. Hennig of Germany, 21. Fischer is 22 from Switzerland. And then Lillenpera, 24 for Finland. At the moment, happy to sit at the back, but he's going to have to start upping the work rate if she wants to get through to the next round. And Lina Canton of France, sitting in 3rd place at the moment. Good run from her.
Very good run, Patrick. I'm not sure I think she's on the edge. She's in a very uncomfortable place. And for me also, Katarina Hennig in position 5. She's really overworking into this climb.
Yeah, the 2 big names starting to make a mark, but Canton, she may be tired, but she's digging very deep, and she's got a little bit of space between herself and the other Swiss athlete, Leah Fischer. So it's the favourite, Feindrich, who goes over the top of the hill first. Karlsson sitting in second. Good work from her. Karlsson, I think, slightly more favoured in terms of the overall Tour de Ski, but if she can get through to the semi-final, Karlsson will be happy with that.
I think so. Karlsson looking very comfortable. Do they realise they've got such a safe lead here? Only the first 2 by rights go through, but this is going to be a very fast heat 1.
Yeah, watch Karlsson on this corner. Will she drift wide? Yeah, she follows Feindrich, who learnt her lesson. They've taken away a lot of the loose snow on that final corner, and Karlsson can just relax in second place. Absolutely no point in working too hard. She's realised what the situation is. She's into cruise mode. Feindrich takes the win, Karlsson in second, and Lina Canton, big lunge for the line, because she is now reliant on getting a lucky loser spot.
I thought that was a very good performance from Canton. She's detached, but only by just under a second, 0.9 of a second. And Karlsson, very impressive. She just did everything right. Feindrich just also made it look so easy, totally in control.
Yeah, just that one mistake on the bottom corner. I think it'd be interesting to see what she does next time around. it's okay to take a tight line provided there's no one outside you. She might have been better just to drift a little bit further to the right as she negotiated that tough bottom turn.
I would imagine the coaches will be having a little replay of that, and the Friedrich probably getting to see that, and she'll learn for the semi-finals and then the finals.
That looked so easy. That looks so easy. 3:22.74, the first run time.
Well, two big names or two good results. Julia Kern is one of them, and Tura Udnes-Veng with bibs 6 and 2, and then it's bibs 13, 28, 29 and 30. So this could be quite an easy heat for Tura Udnes-Veng and Julia Kern. Never works out that way though, does it?
I was going to say, there's nothing. Cross-country skiing and easy don't go together.
Tura Udnes-Veng really fighting mentally, getting herself up for this one.
So Dahlqvist, I think, probably the favourite, but the fact that Tura Udnes-Veng is in there, and she's a much improved sprinter, Tura Udnes-Veng, and Udnes-Veng, I think, probably the favourite in terms, the strongest in this group, Mike, in terms of winning the Tour de Ski.
I think so. She's matured so much, or improved so much as an all-rounder, hasn't she, coming into this season? It's quite an amazing change. And her previous best, I think, in the Tour de Ski is, what, a 10th position. So, yeah, she'll be much better this season. Yes, 10th back in, twice she's had 10th in 2020 and 2022. It seems a slightly easier pace, Patrick, on this first lap for Heat 2. And yeah, it's brave going out front when it's going to be this tight. Friedrich had the confidence to break the field, except for one.
Yeah. And just over 50 seconds going under, so they were about a second and a half slower than the first heat at the top of the first climb.
Safely and easily down the descent. Unterweger detached at the moment, and I'm not sure she's going to get back in the pace here.
Up to the sharp left-hand turn. Julia Kern controlling things at the moment, negotiates that nicely. 1:28 round that bottom corner. Remember that when we come to the next 3 heats, 5 heats of 6 athletes.
Oh, is it sensible? Julia Kern, she is such a fighter. Is it sensible to lead? I suppose you don't want to give way, but for me it's Tura Udnes-Veng in the sensible place. Oh, now she's going past.
Yeah, Udnes-Veng has got to go the long way round, and I think that's why she's putting on a burst now, Mike, so she doesn't have to do it on the corner and cover more ground.
Yeah, it's a lot of work going round there, though. She's going to have to take it wide initially. Julia Kern really closing the door, not making it easy at all for Tura Udnes.
Yeah, Maya Dahlqvist in there as well. Watch the time as they go under the banner for the second time. If they can get through in less than 2:30, we might get a lucky loser from this group. It's going to be very, very tight. 2:30 exactly as they go under. And I think Dahlqvist has got to put some work in.
Dahlqvist, not the athlete she was at this time last year. She won all the sprints, didn't she, before the Olympics? And then sadly, Sundling came back and took the Olympic title.
Yeah. So, Tura Udnes-Veng takes the lead. We've got Julia Kern of America in second place. Dahlqvist, who lost so much ground, she was with them at the top of the hill, but she just didn't keep that work rate going, and that's where Tura Udnes-Veng has been so good this season, always working over the top of the hill. Now she drives for the line. Dahlqvist starting to come through. She's closing the gap with just 50 metres to go. This could be interesting. One of these athletes could lose out. 3:18, 3:19 on the clock, and it's Tura Udnes-Veng Sveng, who has to rely on a lucky loser, but she's comfortably inside the 3:24, which was the fastest lucky loser before. So I think all three are likely to go through. But what a brilliant finish from Dahlqvist.
Her cornering was excellent. She carried so much pace until Udnesveng. She thought she completely had this with 20 metres to go. She was not aware that Dahlqvist was attacking.
Well, she probably had a sneaky look over her shoulder on the way down the hill to see that she was 20 metres up on the Swede. Julie Kern, she's okay. Dahlqvist, though, who... Was she conserving energy at the top of the hill, or did she just not have any energy to put into the first part of the downhill?
I felt she didn't. She was putting it all out on the table there, although this is the previous heat we're seeing, this Canton. And now this is Dahlqvist on the left.
Well, Maya Dahlqvist, after we'd both been a little bit critical of her form and her tactics, stunned us with a brilliant finish, 3:21.07, and that's highly likely to be the fastest heat of the day, but we will see. We've got Janatova of the Czech Republic in this heat, and Jasmine Juentsu, and Lotte Udnesveng is there as well, wearing bib number 12. 19 is Anja Weber of Switzerland. She'll get a decent amount of support on her way round. There is Lotte Udnesveng. Great results from her up in Beiderstolen. Got the better of her sister on that occasion. Hasn't happened very often this year. There's Katarina Janatova. 74 World Cup starts. Plenty of experience to draw on for this sprint heat. It's first round of the heats. Never feel comfortable calling it a quarter-final, Mike, as we have 5 heats.
Yes, it is quite strange why it is termed that way on the FIS site. It's quite an evenly matched heat, this one, I think, Patrick. 7, 11, 12, 17, 19, 23, so they're all good, and this could go anyway, I think.
Yeah, what's going to be interesting is whether it becomes a tactical race and they accept that only 2 are going through, or whether they go for broke to try and get more than 2 through. We will know at the top of the first line. 50.5 was the time of the last heat under the banner, and then the next time they came round it was exactly 2.5 minutes.
I was going to say this feels slow, but it may well be the same.
Yeah, it's half a second to a second quicker, and with the top 4 separated by only 0.3 of a second, we have a few potential qualifiers here.
Smooth and easy, nobody wanting to create too much risk at this stage.
Marcic of Poland at the back of the field at the moment. Does Poland have anyone else coming up through the ranks who can match Justina Kowalczyk's achievements?
Not really. I mean, we have Marcic as a junior. We thought maybe, or certainly her results were looking excellent, but she hasn't really carried that through to the senior. Maybe today's her day.
So it's Janatova of the Czech Republic who leads at the moment. Lampitz, of course, was their number 1 last year. She's gone to biathlon, and Janatova stepping up pretty well to fill those shoes. Juentsu with a stumble coming around the bottom corner seems to have recovered and now fighting for a position along with Anja Weber, the local girl, out on the far side.
Weber will be desperate too. She's very clever, very inexperienced actually at this level, but she's fearless.
Yeah, doing well.
Going wide the long way around, but she's fighting.
Lotte Udnesveng, very, very wide indeed, but she's got a good turn of speed and just gets ahead of Juentsu, and that's important at that part of the course, Mike, because there's so much restriction on the skis, and Lotte Udnesveng with the best line and the best result going through the top of the climb, and they're now a second and a half slower than the last heat.
Yeah, that was a great move from Lotte Udnes, and made it look quite easy actually. She's bought herself a lot of freedom, a lot of safety, and maybe the lead into the home straight from here.
But it's all about carrying speed out of the next corner. We saw that in the last heat with Maja Dahlqvist. Lotte Udnes losing a bit of time on that downhill section, which she shouldn't have done. And Janatova gaining well. This could be a tight finish by the time they cover the next 100 metres. Still Veng of Norway, who leads at the moment. Janatova is closing with 40 metres to go. Both of those are safely through, and I can't see Jasmine Joensuu closing the gap. She won't. She's going to finish third, and the time at 3:28, too slow. No lucky losers from Group 3.
Well, that was very clever, I think, from Lotte Udnes, Veng. Just fairly easy on the first rotation, and then deciding to make a move wide on the big climb, and actually she made it look quite simple.
The fastest first lap and the slowest second lap. It's all about pacing.
I think that first lap it burnt 5 athletes' legs badly there, and you can't get rid of that lactic fast enough. You can't get enough oxygen in here, even though it's only 1,600 meters, and it hurts.
Yeah, Lotte Udnes didn't really appear on the scene until the bottom of the second downhill. So very, very good tactic. Actually, it was the second climb, wasn't it, where she made her move on the outside and looked stronger than anyone else at that stage.
Job done.
Yeah, and the technician's work starts now. Just thinking of the one job I don't envy.
Oh, I was watching some of the preparations in the great big trucks that they bring around, and it's busy, it's frantic, and it's stressful.
So heat number 4, there's Kerttu Niskanen, now 34, very, very experienced, and we'll be hoping to emulate the likes of Kutunen and Saarinen, who've both podiumed in the Tour de Ski. Rosenberg, perhaps with the best surprise in the qualification round. Late start, good run, solid performance from her, qualified in third place. Sophie Kröll over on the right hand side of your picture. You're going to pick a winner, Mike. Is it Rosenberg's your quickest qualifier?
Rosenberg, she's so inexperienced, Patrick, but yes, her track time is brilliant, but I think Rosenberg, this will frighten her, and she might tighten up a little bit. She's trying to get out clean, and if she gets out clean, maybe she'll be brave enough at 20-year-old to dictate everything. I think that's the way she's going.
Well, that's not how someone who's frightened skis, because she dropped back a metre and a half in the first 30, and then fought her way through. That's expensive, and for me, I think she might have been better just to settle in back in 4th or 5th. But she looks beautifully light on the skis.
Doesn't she look amazing? And clearly, I thought maybe this situation would tighten her up. Was that expensive energy? I think it will possibly bite her later, but she may try another breakaway next time round.
So Rosenberg leads for Sweden. Over on the far side for Finland, we've got Kahara wearing 10 on the inside of the turn. Sophie Kröll of Germany. Niskanen for Finland, is she in 5th place at the moment? Just checking that. Niskanen wearing bib 16.
Rosenberg using those bumps, pressing down so hard as she gets to the high point to get some more energy out of the dip.
So round they go.
She's going to break away, or she's going to try to break away.
Yeah, so smooth. I mean, she reminds me of the great Johannes. Just beautifully smooth, now conserving energy on the first part of the climb. And if she can climb the hill like she did last time, she could have herself a little bit of a gap. Another 60, 70 metres to go before they turn left. And then the steep section rears up in front of them. And it is still Sweden's Marta Rosenberg in her first World Cup. Here she is, just losing out that top spot. Is that Niskanen? I think it is, who's gone through.
I think it's Kahara.
It's Kahara.
It's Kahara. Yep.
Yeah, Niskanen's still back in 5th.
This is tough time for Rosenberg now. She needs to make her stamp her authority again, I think, if she's got the energy.
Yeah, it's not quite there. The legs aren't responding. The little dynamic jump from ski to ski, not quite as effective. Now she finds her rhythm as they come up towards the top of the course. 2:30 is the quickest time under the Le Grier banner. This time they're 4-5 seconds outside. So we know for sure only 2 qualifiers going through from this group.
We haven't, Patrick, really mentioned Meyervold in 4th. I think she's looking great. She's had an economical workload so far. She might pounce at the end.
Yeah, she's the one in red. In 4th, as Mike says. Niskanen still back in 5. And right at the back of the group, we have San Filippo of Italy, who's not really featured yet. But this very much 4, possibly 5 in the running for those 2 stop spots. It's Rosenberg who rounds the final corner first. She's got Germany's Sophie Krell on her left-hand side. Krell looks to be covering the ground a little bit more efficiently. Mirvold starting to make a move, looking for a way through. It's very tight. There's going to be some compression as they come into the finish. And finding space on the inside, the experienced veteran Kerttu Niskanen. Absolutely fantastic tactics from her. Mirvold squeezed out, had the wrong lane for the finish.
Oh, Patrick, what about Rosenberg? She did everything right, except she burnt herself too much in the early stages, and she's dropped back to 5th.
Experience, and you learn more from bad experience, and that was a bad one.
Yeah, and going the wide way, the long way round on the steep section, she really put more energy out than anyone else. There she is, going so wide, the long way round.
I think she lost it when she fought her way through at the very start, Mike. She had a big battle to get out front, which was obviously her game plan. I give her that. Yep. But I still think she would have been better just to settle in, bide her time, make some ground on the downhill when it's free, or that very first bit of the uphill section. She'll look at that and she'll know exactly where she went wrong.
She will. But, I think we have to praise her as well for her second ever World Cup start. And she came 3rd in the time trial earlier. That was outstanding.
No points for well, you do get points for qualification, so she does get some points, but no prizes for qualification.
Yeah.
So 1 heat to go in this, the first day of the Tour de Ski that runs over the New Year period. 9 days, 7 races, 2 of them sprints. The infamous Alpe Chalmers to wrap it all up Sunday after next. And Krista Parmakoski, always there or thereabouts. She'll have a good battle. Will she do what Niskanen's just done? Rosie Brennan, really, along with Julia Kern, flying the American flag today, with Jess Diggins knocked out in the qualification. Calver of Norway, Norwegians only with 1 qualifier so far, which is Lotte Udnesveng. Tyrrell Udnesveng is waiting to see whether she goes through as a lucky loser. And with a 3:21.4, I think that's highly likely. Here we go. Last heat. 2 spots for sure, maybe more if the time is good. I think they've got to go under that first banner, Mike, at the top in under 51 to have a chance.
Yes, Parmakoski, Patrick, clearly she wants to own this one, and her history in the Tour de Ski is just incredible. In the days of the big Norwegian names leading all the time, and Parmakoski has had a 2nd place, a 3rd place, and 5 times 4th in the overall Tour de Ski. Yeah. I think she could win it this year. Yeah,
and one of those 4th places was last year behind Nepraeva, Ebba Andersson, Heidi Weng. 2 of those athletes aren't here, so maybe Parmakoski starts this year saying it's time to get back on the podium.
I think so, and sadly for Jessie Diggins, not a great start earlier, so this plays into the hands of Karlsson, of Parmakoski, Tyrrell Udnesveng. They're all getting a slight gain on Diggins, who is one of the favourites this time round.
Parmakoski also 3rd in the overall standings with 10 races completed for the season, so it's been a very, very good start to the year for her. I think of all the athletes, probably she's enjoying the absence of Johaug more than anyone.
Yes, and before that it was Marit Björgen that held Palmakoski back. She's been in a rich period of time, but now she can break free and maybe get some big titles.
Yeah, she hasn't won the trophies and doesn't have the fame, but she has made the races what they are by being such a tenacious athlete, and sitting in fourth place at the moment as Ter Dawson just moves up on the outside wearing 25 for Norway. So two Norwegians in this heat. Kalver it is who leads, Ter Dawson just over on her far side, and Germany with Laura Gimler, who was the first athlete to go in the qualification. So Gimler, wearing 8, has had more rest than anyone.
That's not a bad thing, is it? Palmakoski now in 4th, probably 5th soon if she doesn't make a move, but I think she'll still be confident in terms of her finishing pace.
Remember, 2:30, the quickest time under the banner. They've got 5 seconds and they've still got some 30 metres to go. It's going to be tight-ish, and Kalver looking very, very solid. So 33. So again, only 2 qualifiers coming out of this heat. They will not pull back 4 seconds on this descent alone.
Palmakoski really has been burnt off there, but I'm not sure she's out of it yet. She knows the line. She's so vastly experienced. A lot of work to do though.
Oh, far too tight on that inside line from Palmakoski, and then she gets thrown wide, so she's lost a lot of speed. I think that might be her undoing today. Lucky losers, as you just saw on your screen. Veng 3:21, Canton of France 3:24, might just be good enough. They're not going to beat 3:21. We've got 3:15 on the clock already. Kalver looking strong as she comes into the finish. We're going to get 1 Norwegian and 1 German qualifier. Is that Laura Gimler who gets second? Kalver easy win. Gimler second, 3:25. Brennan in 3:26. Palmakoski 3:26. They are all out. Only 2 qualifiers going through, and Kalver looks solid. Ter Dawson going out as Mirvold did in the last heat, and the 2 lucky losers stay the same. Lena Canton with a 3:24, and Til Ludnes Veng, Mike, the overall World Cup leader, deservedly going through to the next round.
Oh, very much. I was so impressed with Kalver that time. She didn't look to be pushed at any point, so maybe she's got a hope for the final. Palmakoski, she tried to go with this, Patrick, but no. The early pace leading that first lap, maybe not the wisest decision.
So that completes the women's first round. The 12 semi-finalists decided. Normally, it's the steep uphill that is the deciding factor on a sprint course. I think the downhill probably is a close second here in Mustair.
I love this course. It's a clever course. It's a difficult course, and it's a course where you really have to pace well.
So that's the results of the last heat. Kalver and Gimler, as you saw, the 2 qualifiers. Some nice lines to be skied up there. Plenty of avalanche potential at this time of year, with warm temperatures and a fair amount of fresh snow falling over the last 5 days or so. And we now prepare ourselves for the first heat of the men's. There's the main man. So in the first heat of the men's, we have the fastest qualifier, Klebo, and the slowest qualifier, Benny Moser. We also have number 2, Lucas Chanavar, looking good, psyched up, looks a little bit lighter in terms of the body this year. Those shoulders not quite the size they were 2 years ago. Peroma for Sweden. So Klebo, Chanavar, Chapin. We've got Friedrich Mock of Germany, William Peroma of Sweden wearing 18, and Benny Moser of Austria wearing 30, just settling in at the back. The two Frenchmen closest to us. We've got Klæbo in second place at the moment with the Norwegian colours, obviously, and number 15 is Friedrich Moch.
This is going to be a very interesting one, Patrick. Big names, big egos, and it's going to be fast. I think that Klæbo, it doesn't look like he's had too much Christmas dinner. He looks like he's a slightly slimmed down version as well.
Yeah, he hasn't had a haircut either. So France 1 and 2 as they go through the top 48 seconds. That was a pretty quick climb, but I think we'll probably see faster later on.
Well, Klæbo didn't want to get involved there. A risky line he's taking.
Okay, watch Klæbo on that next corner. Finds his own line through the rollers. Makes ground. He's on a good pair of skis. He's wide. Doesn't want to get boxed in. But the problem there is if Chapin drifts wide, he's going to run out of space, and it was a close run thing. So I suspect that Klæbo will want his own line and his own space next time round. Still Lucas Chaneva who leads for France.
What's amazed me over the years, Patrick, with Klæbo is that his 32 sprint victories, he so rarely makes any errors at all. And it's rare that you don't make some mistakes or you don't get taken out. He's had very few incidents, but is he tired today? I'm surprised he's not going with the two Frenchmen.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. This is where he will probably want to make his mark. He's closed that gap that appeared. He's making that climb look very easy, and the Frenchmen are starting to get tied up. Do you see how quickly Klæbo reacted there to avoid Chaneva? It's cost him a little bit of space, but he's still in the running. Great recovery from Chaneva, but that will have pushed his pulse up and taken some of the precious energy out of his system.
And Friedrich Moch, we mentioned him earlier, he hasn't taken part in any sprints this year. He's looking great. Klæbo taking that mega wide approach. He'll carry the benefits now along this section.
Here he goes. Here he goes. That was an extraordinary line. No one else has taken that. No one else has carried that sort of speed into the final corner. The master at work. Absolutely fantastic to watch. Chaneva surely can't respond after his little mistake at the top of the climb. And Klæbo is going to cruise to victory in this, just conserving every ounce of energy he can. He gets the win. Chaneva in second place. 3:01.4 the winning time.
That was amazing. I'd love to see that again, just the way he easily moves through the pack but carrying all the pace off the descent.
Well, it's similar to an alpine race where the key is often to carry the speed from the steep section onto the flat section because any mistakes you make are multiplied through that particular part of the course. And on these corners, as we see Chaneva getting tied up with his own teammate, there'll be some stiff words, I think, between those two. And, Klæbo obviously deciding speed through the rollers is crucial.
Oh, so easily going wide. He just reads everything better than anyone else. I suppose he's like Messi in terms of the football. He just sees a different picture. It's fast times.
Well, that's only one heat gone. 48 seconds, remember, at the top of the hill first time round. That really gives us a good indication of the pace set early on. And here's the man who may well set the pace, Federico Pellegrino, hugely popular wherever he goes, 32 now. How many more years will he keep going on the tour? Cyril Feindrich already seen his sister safely through to the women's semi-finals. Can he match her? Ben Ogden. Well, he looked impressive first thing this morning.
He certainly did. He looked like he's the Christmas break. He's been working on his speed. Davos is the great springboard for coming here at 1,600 meters.
Yeah, he wouldn't look out of place in a Star Trek movie at the moment. Here we go. Heat 2. Pellegrino, Ogden, Jay, Findrish wearing 22.
Dominic already.
Yeah. Oh, that's. Is that Ben Ogden? I think it is Ogden. It is Ogden, and now he can't get the handle off. So from 5 to 10 to 15, 20 metres back, and he's going to give it everything to try and get back in. But very, very seldom. I think the only man I've seen who's broken a pole and come through to win an event is Federico Pellegrino, who's up the front at the moment, having made life look easy in the early stages.
That was incredible. Ben Ogden, his quads, his main muscle groups in his legs were burning now. A lot of free skating, but he's back in fourth, maybe third soon.
Everything comes at a price.
Yeah, my thoughts entirely. It's not a fast one though. This is quite an easy start pace, thankfully.
Yeah, I missed the split under the banner, but I suspect it was closer to 50 than 48.
Ben Ogden is so keen to get through. He just needs to be a little patient. He's done a great job so far to take himself back to fourth place. Actually fifth now. This is going to be a big savage final or second lap. Also what, within a half a second.
Well, Findrish excelling himself at the moment. He's giving himself every chance of going through. But as I say that, it's Renauget who accelerates past Findrish on the inside, given enough space to do that. He did the right thing to take his opportunity. Pellegrino still sitting comfortably in the middle of the group. Risky tactics perhaps from Pellegrino, the winner of the last sprint on the World Cup in Davos. He's in fourth at the moment and in danger of being knocked out in these early stages. Renauget accelerates again. Ben Ogden somehow has still got reserves in that tank. He's in second place, and Pellegrino matching the American as he moves up into third.
Findrish dropping back now. He's on his limit, bib 22 in fourth place, so maybe it's end game for him at this point.
Well, if he can get a good downhill section, is anyone going to go wide? No, they all follow the standard line. They haven't learned their lesson from the great Clairbo, who showed us how it should be done. Down into the back straight as such that goes over the rollers. Lucky losers times, 3:01, 3:02.
Pellegrino going wide exactly as Clairbo did it. It worked for Clairbo. Ben Ogden still surviving, and he's got a good line.
Yeah, good acceleration from Ogden, but we've still got 100 metres to go, and the American will probably pay for that mistake or the broken pole early on. He's digging so deep. 3:59. Lucky losers on 3:01. Well, he might just have got inside. 3:01.2. He has a lucky loser spot for now, but Ben Ogden, when it mattered most, just didn't have it in the tank.
Oh, and no wonder really, he was detached by such a huge margin. He had to put such a turn of sprint pace out early, and I'm very impressed with Ben Ogden. He never gave up.
Yeah, that was a good fight. Let's see how it happened. He's broken on the gate.
That's fundamental.
Yeah, he's only got himself to blame, I'm afraid, there. But this is where it sort of went wrong. He couldn't get the old one off.
No, I thought the glove was going to come off there. But then he composed himself well and quickly got back in the action.
Yeah, and he didn't even have the strap on at that stage, I don't think. That came when he got to the first downhill section. So a fantastic effort from Ben Ogden. It will have made his mum and dad proud, but he'll be just kicking himself for that mistake early on, just getting the pole on the wrong line.
Do you know what? He may make it through as a lucky loser. Still early within the heats.
Yeah, he has the fastest lucky loser position at the moment. So Pellegrino safely through. He made that look very easy. Fastest heat so far is that one. 3:00, 3:01.46 for Clairbo. Roman Shard in heat 3. Sundar Bjornstad score. Michael Novak, I thought he looked pretty good in qualifying, 5th position. Just very, very smooth skiing from him. Schoenmaker is there for USA. So the Czech Republic, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, USA, France, all represented in this third of 5 heats. Michael Novak is the quickest qualifier, wearing 5, at the moment sitting in the middle of well, he was in the middle, he's now moved over to the right-hand side as you look at it, with the orange bottoms to his ski suit.
Yes, Michael Novak, 5th position, and the next closest in the qualifying was Skar with 10th position. And it was a real pity, Patrick, in Davos. The Czech team wanted to be there, but they actually couldn't afford to go to Davos. And I thought that was really sad, but great to see them back in Switzerland again. But this is the Tour de Ski now.
Yeah, I know how they feel.
Yeah. It was like €750 just for a minibus to go and collect the teams from Zurich Airport. Yeah, nothing comes easy.
The top, the red group as such, all getting accommodation paid down in Switzerland for the first couple of days, or the 2 days prior to the racing, so it pays to be at the top of the World Cup list.
Certainly does. It's pretty, I was going to say it didn't have any shape to it so far. It was fairly detached coming down the descent. Now they're grouping back together.
Yeah, the only problem with that finance system, Mike, is that the teams at the top can afford it anyway. And then they get it for free.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, they can afford it anyway. They've got so much backup, and then the teams that are on the edge and have to be careful in terms of budget, you just can't afford big prices in the months of racing.
Well, a good race so far from Michael Novak of the Czech Republic. He's got a metre or so advantage over Anton Persson of Sweden, wearing 12. Starting to make a move is Skar of Norway on the outside, and he's gained a couple of metres, coming up alongside the Czech now, who stumbles just before the steepest bit of the hook climb, but recovers well. Could be a price to pay for that later on. Anton Persson still in it. Roman Shard wearing 20, in the mix at the moment, but he needs a fantastic downhill section.
Novak is on his limit. Patrick had a good look behind him there, but they're closing. He's not safe yet, Novak.
Yeah, wide line from Novak, not quite as wide as we saw from Klæbo, and Skar comes on his inside, tries to use the bumps, works the legs well, and gains a metre or so. Yeah, Michael Novak quite right, just push him wide. He has to be given space on the inside, and if Novak doesn't qualify, I think there'll be words from the jury, and it's going to be an easy win for Skar here. I think Novak's going to make it, so they'll save their money that they would have to spend on a process. He might just have a word with him. So Skar makes it 3:00, pretty much the same as we saw from the last heat won by Pellegrino.
Interesting, that's quite fast though, that is very fast. The lucky loser is Persson.
Yeah, and Dominic Berry is out. Ben Ogden's still one of the lucky losers. His time now the target, 3:01.211.
I thought Michael Novak was so attacking there. He led nearly all of the race, didn't he, except the final corner, and putting his arm out there, I'm just wondering if we'll see any protest against him for putting his arm out to another athlete.
Well, I think he had every right to say, give me some space.
Me too, I entirely agree with what he did, but technically I believe they're not supposed to do that. And Peroma, actually, in the first heat, he's had a verbal warning for obstruction. Maybe Skar will get that obstruction for coming a little too close here. Yeah, he's just really cutting off Novak.
Yeah, if you were on a bike, you wouldn't be happy.
No.
Still, didn't affect the result in the end, and I think they'll just learn from that, and score might be spoken to probably by the Norwegian coaches. So we go, heat 4, containing Johan Hagström of Sweden. Again, 6 nationalities represented in this heat, nice mix. Simon Mocellini looked impressive, just missed out on the top 10 in the qualifying run. Yannick Riebly, 24-year-old from Switzerland, the fastest qualifier from this heat, and he's got that lane over on the far side as we look at it. There he is. So no broken poles on this occasion. Again, we're looking for a time sub 48 seconds at the top of the hill for the first time if we're going to get a lucky loser out of this heat.
I'm wondering what we're going to see from Juve today. He didn't look good in Davos. He got it all wrong actually in Davos in terms of his cornering and failed, finishing 26th. But he'll want to put that to rights today, I think. So I think we'll see Juve with 19 trying to create much of the action. Well, it doesn't seem to be that fast, or is it?
Well, that's not bad at all. 43 seconds. I think they're certainly still within reach of a sub 3-minute run.
Yannick Riebly, the local enthusiasm, he's taking it full frontal on. He's wanting to lead this whole thing the whole way.
Yeah, the fastest times so far, Mike, have been set by men who've sat in the middle of the group for the first lap and a half. Yeah,
he's taking all that, 30, 40k an hour front wind, and what, an average of about 26 kilometre front wind throughout the whole distance.
But this is the longest and for some the hardest part of the course. It's just a gradual climb. The pulse rate is starting to rise, and then they know at the end of it they get that left turn. There's still a flat section of about 15 metres, and then they hit the wall, which will take them up to the high point of the course. Riebly still leading, sitting pretty comfortably is Simon Mocellini of Italy in second place at the moment, and he has a little bit of space over the Frenchman Richard Juve, who's going to have to start doing something.
Yeah, Juve has to pick it up. He is, I think he's safe. Mocellini, for his only 8 World Cup starts, isn't frightened at all.
Yeah, good work from Mocellini. Riebly still leading the way though, Juve in third place, and then Sweden's Johan Hagström back in 4, some 15 metres off the lead. Riebly should be very accustomed to these corners. He takes the first one well and carries good speed out of the second corner as well, but just a little stumble.
I thought Hagström was making ground in the descent there. I don't think Hagström is out of it yet. He's got a real sparky finish in 4th place.
Now Riebly, who's worked hard all the way through, a 5-6 metre advantage over Richard Juve. He's got the fans with him. Juve is starting to drive, but I think Riebly has done enough. He's into the last 40, the last 20. It's going to be a Swiss win in this heat. That's very popular with the crowd. Good work from Riebly. He was the quickest qualifier, so don't be too surprised. And Juve in second place was the second fastest qualifier. Hagström down, Mocellini in a photo finish.
Riebly, Patrick, going into the semi-final, he put a lot of work out there, leading from the start to the finish. That's expensive.
Yeah, and it was a fast first lap as well. I think if he gets through to the semi-final, well, he's got himself through to the semi-final. I think he'll be happy with his day's work.
He looked brilliant all the way around. I thought he might get caught, but he had stumbled there.
Yeah, that was the only mistake he made. But at a crucial part of the course, did exceptionally well to carry the speed, and he just hung on for the top spot. Juve had it all under control. Mocciolini just missing out on this occasion. We're still waiting to see the time. There was a photo finish actually. I think we might have two more lucky losers from that heat. Hagstrom and Mocciolini, I think they've done it.
That's impressive. I didn't think I thought Ben Ogden would have lasted, but sadly he hasn't.
No, well, they've just put it up. Hagstrom has gone into the lucky loser pool, and Anton Persson surviving with his time of 3:00.656. So one heat to go. Klebo, Pellegrino, Score, Chanovat and Shea are all lined up for heat number one, for semi-final number one. Riebly, Novak, Juve have made it through to semi-final number two. At the moment it's going to be Anton Persson that goes into semi-final one with his lucky loser position, but that could all change. Valerio Grand of Switzerland. Will he have been inspired by what he's just seen from Yannick Riebly? They produced very similar times in qualifying. Paul Goldberg is in here. Kruger is here. Tonseth is here. James Clooney of Great Britain is there as well, over on the far side with the dark blue suit with the bottom cut, the orange cuffs and ankles. And Kalle Halvarsson of Sweden in the white suit at the far side. Last of the heats, here we go. Two more slots for sure up for grabs, possibly four, but they need to complete the first climb. What do you think, Mike? 44?
I think so. It looks like James Clooney. No, it's going to be bib 7, Valerio Grand, who's going to lead it. I think he'll be fast. He'll probably try and do similar to what Yannick Riebly did in the previous heat, to lead from gun to finish line, but I'm not sure it's going to work out for him.
Yeah, I think Kruger will go hard from the start. His best chance is to put in a very fast first lap. So Kruger on the outside, just on the right of Great Britain's James Clooney, who's second in second place at the moment. Valerio Grand leading the way under the banner. That looked to be about 44 and a half, 45. So a good second and a half slower than we saw from heat number 4.
Yep, I think James Clooney from Great Britain is in a perfect position there. He was tempted to go to lead it, but I think he's got more discipline. As we saw in Davos, he's holding himself back, and that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, nice cornering from Clooney as well to stay in touch with Grand of Switzerland. Kruger is happy to sit in third at the moment. Didrik Tonseth is there in 4. I think I've got Kruger correct. He's wearing number 17. Yes, it is Kruger in third.
Yep, it is. And whereas I thought Halvarsson would be playing a bigger game, but he's happily, or is he, happily in 5th.
Yeah, it's a quality field, and this is where things could be shaken up. Kruger starting to make a move on the inside. The course officials out to clear up all the bollards. They're not going to hang around here. Paul Goldberg, the World Cup leader, sitting back in 4th place at the moment, and soon to be pushed down into 5th as Halvarsson starts to make a move for Sweden. James Clooney with a little bit of space. That is key, and he accelerates at the base of the climb. Good work from James Clooney. That could be an absolutely crucial move. He's got space. He's got a little bit of a lead over 3 and 4 at the moment. Still hanging on is Valerio Grand, but it's Switzerland ahead of Great Britain as they go under the banner for the final time.
James Clooney, that was a good move. He anticipated those chasing would do the same, so he led them, and he didn't let them get that psychological gain.
Confidence high for Clooney after his success in Davos, making it through to the last 6. His PB in a World Cup. It's been a great season for the British team so far this year, despite the fact that they've lost all their funding from GB Sport. So Persson and Hagstrom on 3 minutes, pretty much 3 minutes dead. That's the time they're going to have to beat if they want lucky loser slots. They've only got 14 seconds to get inside. Clooney a little bit off balance as he comes off the corner, but he's still sitting there in second. Kruger's starting to make a push. push. Karlssons making a push, and Clunet goes from second to 4, and that's the end of his chances of going through. Just didn't quite time it right, but well done to Valerio Grand. That was a start line to finish lead, and unbelievable strength shown by the Swiss athlete.
And Goldberg coming through from nowhere, showing a lot of strength to take that important second position.
Good work from the World Cup leader. Valuable points for him. Clunet's mistake, Mike, I think, just slightly off balance coming off that last corner, and it delays the period when you can start to put the power down again, and that really losing the momentum for the final straight.
It didn't look that bad, but I think you're absolutely right. Just the weight back, he lost all the inertia there, all the momentum to get into that home straight. That's a real shame for Clunet. Yes, the team out here, they're doing a great job. They were sprinting out to that hill.
Yeah, they've got a lot of work to do. But I thought Clunet looked more confident. I think he did everything right until that last corner. Did he use too much on that final climb? Possibly, but if he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have been in such a good position.
Yep, and real credit to Valerio Grand, leading, as you said, from start to finish, and that's never easy. Little touch across the line there from Karlsson. Karlsson did come through very well from 5th to 2nd. Well, it's a photo finish. I think it was 2nd.
So there you have the result. Grand and Goldberg. Karlsson has not gone through as a lucky loser. Not quite fast enough that heat. Hagström and Persson are the two lucky losers today. Lena Canton is in the women's semi-finals. Wearing 26, the slowest qualifier in heat number 1. Having a good day, Julia Kern, 6th in qualifying. Frida Karlsson, 5th in qualifying. 2nd fastest in this first semi. Alongside her teammate, and the queen of sprinting this time last year, Maja Dahlqvist. Well, is this the new queen? Quite possibly. Nadine Feindrich, winner in Davos, winner of the qualification here in Mustair, and she has a couple of thousands cowbells that are going to cheer her on the way. And Lotte Udnisveng, welcome back, just in time for the start of the first of the women's semi-finals. Feindrich of Switzerland, Lotte Udnisveng of Norway, Dahlqvist and Karlsson from Sweden, Julia Kern of USA, and Lena Canton in the blue and red for France, wearing 26. But no surprise to see Nadine Feindrich wanting to set the pace in the early stages.
This is going to be so interesting. Big names, big egos, and now that it's getting into the important aspect, 60-second bonus up for grabs to win today, and well, Karlsson certainly would love that. They would all love that.
Yeah, and they all would like a share of the prize money. What is it? Just almost 800,000 euros prize money. It's sort of it's not a huge amount when you think that is split between the top 20 men and top 20 women at the end of the tour. Yes, I think it's 80,000 euros, is it, for the win?
I think it is, and a very intense, very busy week of racing, travelling. It affects your sleep, it affects your rhythm. They're focused all the time on the next day as soon as this day finishes.
Dahlqvist leading the two Swedes at the moment. Lena Canton sitting at the back. She doesn't want to get any more detached than that as they start the second and final lap. Still Nadine Feindrich leading the way. She's got the confidence to do that now after a very, very impressive performance in Davos just before the Christmas break. So we've got Frida Karlsson starting to make a move.
She's restless. Dahlqvist is always going to come late, isn't she? She doesn't want to use the energy to break through the pack, but she's a real danger in the last 200.
Are you saying Dahlqvist is thinking about the final, not the semi-final?
I feel that way. She knows this was always going to be fast, and she's just tried to be very economical in this pack, believing in her end game pace.
Well, this hill might reveal who has the most energy. They take the left-hand turn, then they see the wall rise up in front of them. It's still Feindrich who has the lead, and she switches gear. Lotte Udnesveng not quite so effective with the gearbox. Frida Karlssons struggling a little, the tallest figure in this group, but not able to generate the tempo that we see from Nadine Feindrich, who suddenly found herself 5 or 6 metres clear. Great racing from the Swiss athlete. It's Norway with Veng in second place now, and Karlsson and Dahlqvist with work to do.
I'm very, very impressed with Veng there, Lotte Udnesveng. I thought by going the wide, long way around, I thought she'd lose out to second place, but she is very determined.
Well, she needs to be, because if Frida Karlsson's good at one thing, it's the sprint finish. That Julia Kern of USA who's gone down, and that's the end of her racing today. She won't get back in touch with the leaders with only 400 metres to go. Feindrich still looking as though she's just on a stroll, looking very, very smooth and relaxed. Stays low as she rounds that final corner and then accelerates well into the home straight. Lotte Udnesveng alongside Frida Karlsson, and here comes Maya Dahlqvist trying to squeeze herself up into second place. I think Dahlqvist going to do exactly what you said, Mike. She gets her qualification spot. Watch the time, 3:24 and 3:24.6 for Lotte Udnesveng. She'll have to wait and see whether that is good enough, but they did not hold back. Feindrich pushed the pace from start to finish.
Feindrich has found something. Davos, that victory there, she said she really suffered in the final, but she looks impeccable today. No problem at all so far. Kern, she struggled, I thought, Patrick, coming through to half distance. She was off balance coming out of the fast left-hander, and she really didn't get back into it from then. Well, that was a vicious start. This is the move. Lotte Udnes went wide very early, and I thought it might be her undoing, but Karlsson really is finding it difficult at that stage.
Yeah, look where Dahlqvist is now. She's 25-30 metres down on Nadine Feindrich. It was an astonishing comeback in the closing stages. Dahlqvist on the right of your screen got herself up into second place. Those sort of tactics, Mike, you burn so much fuel over the last 200 metres.
Very much. I mean, she'll be thinking, well, I've gained by not killing myself, by playing tactically good early on. We'll have to wait and see if that pays off. I'm not sure that Karlsson's going to remain in a lucky loser position. This is going to be fast.
Yeah, I thought Karlsson looked a little bit sluggish, particularly on that steep uphill. Here's the lineup for the second semi. Niskanen wearing 16, the slowest qualifier in this semi-final. Is that the end of the road for her? Laura Gimler, who started number 1 in qualifying. She finished 8th, which I think was more than she was expecting. On her left is Katarina Janatova of the Czech Republic. Looked pretty smooth last time out. Will need to do the same again. Sophie Krell, one of 2 Germans in this second semi-final. And then on the far side we had Ann-Kirsti Kalver, the quickest qualifier apart from Tyrrell Udnesveng. They were 2 and 4. So 2 Norwegians, 2 Germans, Finland and the Czech Republic.
Take your start position. Set.
Kalver never really static at any stage before the start, but she's gone off easy and will slot in behind the 2 German athletes. And this doesn't look to be anything like as aggressive as the last semi.
It doesn't, and when you see Niskanen, kind of feeling she has to take on the responsibility, for me that means none of the others wanted to lead this.
A respectable time up to the top of the climb is 50 seconds. We will see whether they're anywhere near that. 15 seconds to go. They've still got some 25 metres before they go under the banner.
I think the big surprise is Kalver from Norway, bib number 4. She's more a distance racer, been on the the circuit of distance races and leading that, but showing her sprinting qualification, bib number 4 there. She's got a lot in reserve and she's playing a clever pace right now.
Well, I think things are looking pretty good for Lotte Udnisveng, who clocked a 3:24.6 in the in the first of the semis. A wide line by the Germans, and that was Lara Gimler drifting wide, and then followed by Sophie Krell.
Niskanen, she was an unwilling leader really. She's back in third now, losing a little time on both of the corners, Niskanen.
Yeah, really good cornering there from Lara Gimler. Might bring herself right into the slipstream of the World Cup leader, Lotte Udnisveng. Or Tiril Udnisveng, I should say. Lotte is already run her semi. She's waiting to see whether she's one of the quickest lucky losers. Number 4 is Ann-Kirsti Kalve.
Yeah, there she is. She's got more to give. She's had very clever first lap there. But she needs to place herself in the right place now, and doing just that, moving up into, well, equal first.
Yeah, it's tight on the inside. Tiril Udnisveng will want as much room as she can get, and I think she forces Kalve just a little bit wider before she presses the accelerator. It's a powerful body she has, and she dances away, not with too much elegance, but she tries the dynamic style as she heads up to the top of the climb for the second time, and then a little bit of respite before the technical downhill starts.
Yes, and all the time Niskanen is getting more and more detached at the back from that early pace.
Yeah, Niskanen I don't think is going to feature. I think it's all about Katerina Yanatova's time. The lucky losers at the moment look as though they're coming from semi-final number 1. 3:24 and 3:25.5 the times. Norway 1 and 2. Tiril Udnisveng ahead of Ann-Kirsti Kalve. Kalve with a beautiful exit from the corner, closes the gap just a little.
Impressive. I think they've run a perfect race here. They were economical first lap and then took the control second lap.
3:24 on the clock, so no lucky losers out of this group. Veng and Kalve, the only two to go through. We've got, in the first heat, we've got 1 Norwegian, we've got 2 from the second semi, so 3 Norwegians in the final, 2 twins. Tiril Udnes and Lotte Udnisveng have both made it into the last 6. That is going to be an interesting head-to-head.
It certainly is. Both on form. So nobody really wanted to take the lead first time or out of the starting gun.
Friedrich, Veng, Kalve, Dahlqvist, Lotte Udnisveng and Frida Karlsson. Good teamwork from the Norwegians. I thought at one stage that Kalve was going to obstruct Tiril Udnisveng on the inside, but that did not happen, and they cruised through. They gained a lot of ground on that steep section, Mike.
They did. They really put the pedal to the floor there and detached themselves, safely detached themselves, and yeah, very clever pacing.
The women's semi completed, the men's semi-final due off in just over a minute's time. Let's have a look at the qualifiers for the last 6. Friedrich, Veng, Kalve, Dahlqvist, Lotte Udnisveng and then Frida Karlsson. Last year, the winner of this first round was Diggins, Meervold, Lampitz, Kern, Divik and Ridzek. So it's all change in terms of the final here in Mustair. Pellegrino, is there a final slot waiting for him? I suspect so. Renauchet has made it along with his teammates in the middle. Johannes Husford Klæbo. It's only a semi-final. I don't think we'll see him go too hard at the beginning. Lucas Chanava. No major mistakes from him in the first round. And then on the far side, Sindre Bjornstad's score. So 2 Norwegians, 2 Frenchmen. Italy are there as well. And on the left-hand side of your screen, Sweden, represented by Johan Häggström. We're underway. No broken poles this time round. What will Klæbo do? He's red suit, white hat, wearing bib number 1. He is undoubtedly the best ever sprinter we've seen on the World Cup. And he's still pretty much in his prime, which is quite exciting.
It's very exciting, isn't it? And he's... well, Shanavad does what he does. He goes out and he leads. He did this in Davos. It was his birthday in Davos, and he looked like he had a chance to win, but just in the final he got it a little wrong and eventually finished third.
Klæbo will climb slowly. Won't enjoy being obstructed. Pellegrino in there as well. This is a tough semi-final to get through.
It is. In fact, the order, Patrick, they're in at the moment, that's how they finished in the last World Cup sprint. Shanaway third, Klæbo second, and Pellegrino third. That's the order we're running in now.
Klæbo goes very wide again. The danger of that, Mike, is he has to switch from right to left, and if someone's in his way, he's going to lose out, and he's got a bit of catching up to do. Klæbo sitting back in 5th at the moment, but don't write him off quite yet.
I think his amazing balance, most wouldn't risk that going up into the banking where they don't know if it's firm or loose, but he sees the gain, and it certainly worked for him last time.
Yeah, and he's still not pushing it. He is still happy to sit back in 5th at the moment. Just ahead of Renauget of France, who's, I suspect, in a slightly worse position. Up towards the big climb for the second and final time. Shanava leading, score on his shoulder for Norway at the moment. And then sitting back in 3rd place, Federico Pellegrino, with Klæbo getting closer and closer and closer. And the Norwegian, I suspect, will want to make a bit of ground. He does so with the first 3 strides on the steep section of the climb, but he is on the outside of the turn. He's from 5th up into 3rd. He just takes it easy, and I think he's full of confidence, Mike, that he can gain ground. But with Pellegrino on his inside, the cornering could be interesting here.
That's what I was thinking. I thought Klæbo was going to be very much more decisive and break free. Yes, he'll try. He will go wide again, or will he? No, he's had to curtail it a little.
Yeah, he had to change his tactics there. Dances his way round. Still down in 3rd. Remember, only 2 going through. France lead with score of Norway in 2nd. Here comes Klæbo. Somehow he gets speed out of nowhere, and he's gone from 3rd up into 2nd now. He's on the outside of the turn, but he'll carry good speed into the home straight. And just accelerates with a couple of powerful strides, and that's enough to give him the lead. And as he goes past 50 metres, he winds it down. He'll look to his left, check it's all right, and cruise across the line. How does he do it?
Do you know what? He's a joy to watch, and the fact that in such tight racing he does not make any mistakes, and he can fight his way. He can, if he makes a slight error, he'll just press the turbos and he's out of trouble instantly.
We have not seen anyone else in the history of sprinting being able to generate so much speed in the first 10-15 metres of a downhill.
It's quite incredible, and to carry the speed, his move into the bumps and dips, he gets energy out of them more than any other person in this field today.
Absolute genius.
I think he wanted to just get up into 2nd place here, but nope, the door was closed, so he didn't want to waste any more energy.
Here we go. So he's round that corner. We actually wanted to see the 200 metres prior to that corner, because that's where he made his move. But again, Mike carries the most speed into that home straight. It was 2 or 3 strides that accelerated him 2 metres clear of everyone else.
I think his grandfather takes the credit for all the times he picked him up from school every night, just playing games on skis. He knows how to move.
I think the grandfather will probably share some of that credit with the other coaches involved along the way. But you know, it also interesting, he changed his tactics on the downhill. He read the situation. He realised that with Pellegrino close to him, it was probably not a good idea to open the door to the Italian.
Yes, he sees the picture very well.
So it wasn't particularly quick. 3:01, the lucky loser times. There are certainly a couple of men in this group capable of doing that. We've got qualifier number 5, 6, 7 and 12. Valerio Grand did well, led from start to finish. I'm not sure he's going to try it this time round. Yannick Riebli.
Yeah, the two Swiss athletes really look up for this.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how much of their reserves were used in that first round.
Take your start position.
So, second semi-final of the men's. Riebli, Grand, Novak, Goldberg, Juve and Persson. And 5, 6 and 7 very evenly matched in qualifying. Two of them Swiss, Riebli and Yannick wearing 6 and 7. And then Michael Novak with the orange suit wearing 5.
I think at the back, Patrick, Paul Goldberg, as he did last time, he didn't want to burn even a fraction of energy that he didn't want to. So I think he'll stay comfortably at the back and then come through in the very final part of the race again. And I think he will make the final, but the pace is fearsome up the front.
Goldberg, who nearly always does well up in Ruka, the first sprint of the season, which is in the classic style.
Well, it's not that fast. And the two Swiss athletes up front, in fact, Valerio Grand, he's the under-23 world champion in sprint racing, so he must be feeling pretty confident for his first World Cup win.
Yeah, they need to be down the bottom corner, past the bollard in around 1:15. They're not going to be far outside that. Oh, we've got a faller. It's Sweden's. No. Yeah, Sweden's Anton Persson has gone down. We won't see a Ben Ogden from him, I don't think. He's way off the pace now. Fell at just the wrong time, and he might as well just stroll round the course as we watch the others battle it out at the front. Valerio Grand wearing 7, just overtaken by Francis Richard Jouve, who's been conserving energy, I feel, at this stage. Paul Goldberg still left himself with a lot to do, Mike.
Too much. I saw his facial expressions. He's absolutely struggling at the back there, so maybe that is the end of it.
Juve in a good position. Novak coming up on the outside for the Czech Republic. Goldberg some 14-15 metres off the back of the group. It's going to be a miracle if he can get back in touch, but he's done it before.
Novak looking very comfortable at the front there. He wanted a couple more meters. I thought he was trying to go for a big gain on this descent, but he hasn't won it.
Yeah, I think that final corner is going to be so important, and of course the speed that they carry into the dips and the bumps, which are coming up in the next 4-5 seconds or so. Still Novak of the Czech Republic, who leads, does a little bit of work and gets the legs working over the bumps, which will serve his cause. Pellegrino on 3:01, waiting to see whether he goes through as a lucky loser. It's still the Czech Republic leading. A bad corner from Richard Jouve blocks out one of the Swiss, but gathering some momentum now. Yannick Riebli trying to get through into second place. It's going to be close, but the power of Jouve is going to hold on. Michael Novak, brilliant race from him. He's into the last 6. Jouve is there as well, and with a 3:02.1, that is the end of the Swiss challenge. Pellegrino and Score go through from the first semi-final.
Well, I think you said it clearly on the start. The Swiss athletes, have they put too much out on the track prior to this semi-final? And the evidence is absolutely there. Third and fifth.
Anton Persson came through as a lucky loser from the semi-finals, from the first round, I should say, and no place in the final for him. 2 races to go. The women's last 6, the men's last 6. Who is going to win stage 1 of this year's Tour de Ski? That's Persson going down. Goldberg not really affected, but he was never really in the races. Well, Mike, I'll have a little wager with you that the winner of this first stage is going to come from semi-final number 1.
Yes, I totally agree. Just the recovery, it means an awful lot, but of course then you look at the names there, and they're huge names. Klæbo, Shanova, Skor as well, and of course Pellegrino. 4 athletes from Heat 1.
So these are the results of that second semi-final. Novak and Juve, the 2 qualifiers. Everyone else can pack their bags and turn into a spectator for the next 10 minutes, because it's going to be an exciting one. Haven't been as many falls as we were expecting. It's a good course that tests your downhill skills but doesn't wipe out a whole group in one go. So the final positions are decided for the men. Just to give you some idea, 2 Norwegians, we've got 2 Frenchmen, Italy and the Czech Republic represented in the men's final. In the women's, well, they are just about to take their positions, and Nadine Feindrich, number 1 in qualifying, number 1 in her semi-final. She has looked every bit the champion that she's become this season. Is she going to get another win for the year?
I love the way that Feindrich just, she was on that start line, the first athlete, so keen to get the business, get the work done, and I think she'll be a very tough athlete to hold back today.
Yeah, looking for a 3rd successive World Cup win. She won in Biderstolen, she won in Davos. Is she going to win on Swiss snow in Val Mustair? Here's the opposition. Frida Karlsson doesn't look sharp enough on the big climb for me. She's great in the finish, but I think she'll lose too much ground on that second climb. Lotte Udnisveng, hungry, confident after her success in Biderstolen. Maja Dahlqvist, if she can find the form she had 12 months ago, she will be a challenger. And Kirsti Kalver, one of 3 Norwegians in this final. There's the lone Swiss, but my goodness, is she a rocket. And then on the far side, Tiril Udnisveng, wearing yellow as the current overall World Cup leader. She's also the leader of the sprint standings, but has yet to get a win. 2/3, 2/4. Consistency putting her at the top of the pile. So Feindrich, Veng, Kalver, Dahlqvist, Lotte Udnisveng, Frida Karlsson, your 6 finalists here in Val Mustair, stage 1 of the 17th Tour de Ski. Feindrich will do everything the same, Mike.
I think she will. It's a risky strategy with Dahlqvist, I think, ready to pounce. Of course, we know Tiril Udnisveng is so hungry for success this season. She wears yellow. She's proved that she's so much better. Karlsson will want to gain maximum points, so this is going to be a very tight final.
Yeah, Feindrich looking fairly light on her feet. Maja Dahlqvist certainly not giving too much ground in that opening climb, but Feindrich has gone off so hard. Look at that, 4-5 meters clear of Tiril Udnisveng going through the banner.
It's incredible, and if this might be a strategy, the coaches will have looked at it. Do you just go out and break the field early? There is a big risk in doing that, but she looks like she's achieving it.
Tiril Udnisveng tries the Klæbo line, and looks to me as if it has paid off pretty well. That's where Klæbo is so good, accelerating into the little rollers down towards the bottom end. Kalver at the back of the group at the moment, needs to close some ground in the next 100 metres. And now we have 2 lone skiers out the front. Tiril Udnisveng pulling away from her twin sister Lotte Udnisveng, with Dahlqvist just behind her. Frida Karlsson in 5th position at the moment.
I think Tyrrell Udnesveng will have many positives flying through her brain right now. She really closed down Feindrich, especially in the very neat cornering which Tyrrell Udnesveng gave, and got back in contact with the lead. She pulled it back some 20 metres.
But as I said at the start, Mike, Tyrrell Udnes has not won a sprint this season. She's lost them all in the last sort of 50, 60 metres. Doesn't seem to have that electric pace in the closing stages. I wonder if that's going to prove to be her undoing today.
Yeah, I agree, but she was caught sleeping last time. I think she sharpened her thinking up, and let's keep this all the way to the line. She hasn't the strength to stay with it now.
Yeah, Feindrich has gone. Lotte Udnesveng goes ahead of her sister. She is making the chase, but she's allowed the Swiss athlete to get some 15 metres clear, and Feindrich is looking for 3 in a row. 300 points from 3 races. It could well be enough to put her at the top of the Sprint World Cup standings if she gets the win here today, and she's some 25 metres clear of the 2 Norwegians and still going strong.
Oh, it's incredible. The 2 Norwegians, though, are in the sights of the 2 Swedes, and I don't think the 2 Swedes are quite out of it yet.
And then Calver of Norway at the back. It looks like a home victory to me. Still 25 metres in it. Feindrich with 1 corner to negotiate, and then a 250-metre burst to the line. She shows good strength in the legs, but then a little stumble will have killed her speed. So Feindrich ahead of Lotte Udnesveng. Tyrrell Udnesveng, the World Cup leader, in 3rd place at the moment. And Lotte Udnesveng is coming strong in the closing stages from 5 to 6. And watch Dahlqvist on the near side. Another astonishing finish from Dahlqvist from 5th to 2nd over that last 200 metres. Wow, fantastic run, just as she did in the semi-final. But the papers will all be about Nadine Feindrich. She's got a win in Mustair, and she makes it 3 successive World Cup victories. How good must that feel?
Oh, she is on the biggest high of her life in terms of form. She's got great track speed, and that's
I think they'll take
really good shape.
this, but
going well. Finals.
Number 1 is the shoot first.
yeah, it's great, you know, because with Dario Colonia gone, I think many thought Swiss cross-country skiing would die when Dario retired, but Nadine Feindrich certainly taking his mantle. I'll do a check, but I think, you know, Dario Colonia did not win that many World Cups.
He had, you know, he was a good all-rounder. So in his early days, he was a sprinter, and he, and especially when it comes to the Tour de Ski, he had the endurance and the mindset to perform so well on so many occasions.
So they're filling up the slots.
Number 19. Number 3.
Richard Jouve takes his place for the men's final.
Listen, I'm just thinking back to Dario, of course, winning 4 times overall in the Tour de Ski. Last time was, what, 2017, 2018? Great to see.
Interesting that Clevo chooses to be in the middle. Most of the fastest qualifiers have gone on the right-hand side as you look at it, but Clevo happy to be in the mix. Will he do anything different this time? There are many aspects to his racing, but we know that he is capable of any tactics. He doesn't give everyone else the luxury of knowing what he's going to do.
Yes, he doesn't. He doesn't give any hint, but I think he'll sit back in 5th, 6th position, Clevo, in the early stages of this final.
Pellegrino, is he going to have another chance at bettering Clevo?
I don't think so. Pellegrino not looking quite as sharp as he did on that amazing day before Christmas in Davos.
Lucas Chanova, maybe it's time for another win from the man who's generally been the best French sprinter, but overtaken by Richard Jouve last year, who became the winner of the Sprint World Cup. Jouve there wearing 10. So the lineup: Clevo wearing 1, Novak of Czech Republic in 5, Chanova in 2, Richard Jouve 19, Pellegrino 3, and score is 10. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 5 from qualifying early on today. Without a doubt, the favourite is Clevo wearing the red suit, white hat. Chanova will go hard early on. He'll do what Feindrich did in the early stages, but will he be able to keep that going?
I'm delighted to see Mikhail Novak in there, the low budget team. You need your waxes prepared brilliantly. You need a budget. He's in second place right now and looking so sharp and up the races.
So Shanova leads up the climb for the first time, around 43 seconds I think was the quickest we saw under the banner, and they're outside that, not by much, a second and a half, so it's a tactical race, not an all-out one. Shanova.
Yeah, well, look at Pellegrino. He's certainly taking advantage of the easy pace right now, but he needs to be careful on this corner. Klæbo's going to cut through.
Goes wide and then switches to the left and then carries great speed, but he had Richard Jouve in his way, so he couldn't carry absolute maximum speed down the downhill for the first time, but enough to take him from fourth up into second place around the outside of Mikhail Novak. It's still Shanova leading. We're through the halfway stage of the Mustair sprint, and we have one more big climb still to come. Novak still showing good strength on the right of your screens.
He really is. I'm a little surprised he wasn't trying to tuck in behind Shanova to get the gain there, but clearly he doesn't want to get roadblocked in this next section, the steep climb coming up.
Pellegrino stuck at the back in sixth place at the moment, but not out of it. It's a fairly small gap between first and sixth, and Klæbo yet to press the accelerator. This is where he's done it in the past with a couple of powerful strides. There he goes again from third up into first, but he is on the outside of the turn, so we might find that Michael Novak still holds on to the lead. No, it's going to be Klæbo's time. Which line will he take? He's got Score just behind him, who will, I dare say, go on the inside. Pellegrino's made a move and goes up on the outside, and Pellegrino, I think, will probably want to block Klæbo out on this next corner.
Hey, well done to Pellegrino. Where did he come from? I thought he was going to become detached, but he's up the front. Wide from Klæbo, wide from Goldberg. Sorry, Scar.
Yeah, and Pellegrino with a 10-metre lead going into the back straight. He works, keeps the skating going over the bumps. That's not an easy thing to do. And this time Klæbo makes very little ground on the downhill section. Round the last corner, who's going to carry the speed out? Here we go, the two men who fought out for first and second in Davos. It looks like revenge time for Klæbo. He will not make the same mistake this time. Pellegrino tying up slowly. It's a Norwegian victory, and Klæbo gets the win ahead of Pellegrino. The two greatest sprinters have done it once again here in Mustair. Absolutely sensational, and Pellegrino just didn't have it in the tank.